Hi there, my stamping friends. Thanks for joining me today to make this card using the Scrappy Strip Technique and the Zany Zebras stamp set from Stampin' Up. Here are some samples, and let's see if you can guess what this card reminds me of. I'm not going to say it just yet, but you leave your ideas in the comments below, and let's see if you're thinking the same thing that I'm thinking. I am Rose Ellen Eastman from My Stamping Friends, and again, thanks for joining me today. I am going to talk about a lot of products today, and you can find them all at my website, mentioned right here on the screen and in the video description. If you use the host code when you place an order of $35 or more in product from me, then you'll get a link to a free tutorial bundle as a thank you from me. If you're going to place an order of $150 or more, don't use this hostess code. You're going to be your own hostess and get your own hostess benefits. You will still get that free tutorial bundle as a thank you from me. So let's get right down to it. This card is so simple to make. I love it. I started with 2 pieces of Whisper White, one for the front layer and one for the inside layer, and they are cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4. From the Zany Zebra stamp set, I chose this zebra for the front and this zebra for the inside. Let me show you what the inside of the card looks like real quick. You party animal. This just makes me giggle. So when I first saw this card, this stamp for the very first time in our brand new catalog, this is exactly what I thought of doing, and it came out pretty much exactly how I thought it would. I was impressed. So I'm going to be using my StazOn Jet Black ink right now because we are going to be using the Aqua Painters. Oh, they're not called Aqua Painters anymore. Our brand new ones are called Water Painters. Let me tell you a little bit about them. First of all, our old Aqua Painters were this shape. They looked like this, and they had a little bit of a tip, smaller tip on them. Now we get 3. We get a small tip, a bigger tip, and then a brush tip. Can you see them all in there? I love them. They are fantastic. We're going to be using them a lot on my channel here, so make sure you get to check them out and put them on your wish list. All right, the first thing I'm gonna do is ink up my zebra, and I am gonna put him down at the bottom, a little bit in from the right-hand side, about here looks good. And then I'm gonna take my other zebra. We're gonna color both of them at the same time. And I'm gonna put him right about there. Perfect. Then I am going to close up the StazOn Jet Black. I'm not going to use it anymore. The ink colors I'm going to be using today are Granny Apple Green, Real Red, and Daffodil Delight. And what I'm going to do is open them up so I can use them as a paint palette. If you haven't done this before, all you do with your classic stamping pads is just squeeze them, and it makes a little ink well right in there. And I'm just going to do that for all of them. There you go. Now, generally, when I color, I like to color with the lightest color first, so I don't blend colors. I don't go from a dark to a light and then end up with a pink and a yellow, a red and a yellow turning into orange. Now, you can copy the card I did exactly if you want to, exactly where I colored on him. First, let me make sure that you can see all his wonderful colors on there. Granny Apple Green, Real Red, Daffodil Delight, and he is stamped in the StazOn Jet Black. So I'm going to start with a little bit of the daffodil first. Just pick up a little bit. This is full of water, just regular water out of the sink. I'll show you how it opens. You twist the top, fill it with water, close it again. There's a little word that says push right there. You can push that and get more water into the tip if you want. But if you don't, that's fine too. I want some pretty intense colors, so I'm using a very little bit of water. And I am going to color this zebra the same way that I did. A little bit there. And the only coloring tips I have for you here on this one is just don't go across like his whole face and up. I guess you could. I just liked the way he looked a lot more colorful when I did it this way. just random colored stripes. And it doesn't have to be perfect because it's watercolor, and watercolors are not necessarily perfect. And just randomly pick a few places to put some yellow, some Daffodil Delight. Now to clean this, all I did, you can dip it in water if you'd like, but all you need to do is just squeeze that where it said press, and it comes off of your brush just like that. And then you can pick up the next color. So I'll pick up a little bit of red, the real red that we've got here. And some of them are going to be a little bit more saturated. When you first pick up the ink, there's going to be a lot on your brush, so it's going to be a little more saturated than, you know, when you're coloring one stripe here and then one stripe here and get down to the end, it's going to be a little less saturated. You don't want too much water on your brush, which is why I'm wiping that off a little bit, because this is not watercolor paper. This one is just the regular Whisper White we have. So I don't want it to go through too much. And let me see. So this is a very fine tip. I wouldn't start at the outside. I would start at the inside of his nose and kind of brush it out to the outer edge of his nose. Make him look like he's got a red mouth there. Clean that one off, and let's move on to some green. So a little bit of green fuzzy up there. And this is so much fun. It's really relaxing, I would say. You can color these stripes whatever color you want. I chose these colors for a specific reason. When you are commenting, let's see if you know why I chose these specific colors. And I will give you a hint. It's not for Christmas. So I know there's red and green on here, but this is not a Christmas zebra. A little bit of that there. And a little bit of that there. And I see that I missed a little bit of the yellow on his leg right there. Wash that off, and a little bit of green. Missed that leg completely. Okay, so that guy is done, and let's work on the inside. So I'm just going to grab the other card right there. And since I already have green on my brush, I'll keep going with the green. I'll make him have a little green nose on the inside. It's fun sometimes when you match them up to look so that the zebra on the front matches the one on the inside, but you don't have to. You can if you want to, but you know, maybe they're from the same family and not the same exact zebra. So they don't have to have the same stripes in the same locations. Give them some green hooves too. You can make them all green. I'm going rogue here with a little bit of changing up the color. And let's say that one, that one, that one. Yeah, that's probably good. So I'm just going to get a little bit of water on there to wash that off. Clean brush, and let's bring out some yellow. Daffodil Delight right there. A little bit behind his ears. Do you guys normally watercolor? Let me know. If you're enjoying this video, what you can do is smash that subscribe button. I would love it. The other thing I want you to do is tell me what you want to see. What would you like me to make for my next video? Do you want a technique? Do you want a certain kind of fun fold? Give me some hints in the comments on what you might like to see. Because I love to do all of the stamping techniques and fun folds and wow cards and even the really simple ones. Now this one, believe it or not, is a very simple card. Doesn't really take a lot of measuring or work, and you don't have to stay in the lines right there. Yeah, I think that's good. How about a little bit more daffodil at the top of his leg right there, and maybe a little bit on his belly. Yeah, I think that's a good one. Okay, so we're done watercoloring now with our water painters. I'm just going to set that off to the side. Next thing I'm going to do is grab my stamps. I did You Party Animal, and for this I'm going to close up my ink so that it's on a stable base and will ink my stamp evenly. Tap, tap, tap. Put it down wherever you want. It doesn't matter if it's straight. He's not standing up straight, so that's fine. The sentiment can be off center. So that's that one. And then for the front again, we did Happy Birthday. What I'm going to do here, when I'm stamping 3 of something, I often will stamp the bottom one first, then the top one, so I know it's not going to go off. And then I will put the center one in between these two. This way you don't, if you went 1, 2, 3, you might have extra space. It's just a good way to center them. I'm going to close up all my ink pads so they have solid bases to sit on. Tap, tap, tap. And I'm going to go, how about there? And then I'm just going to clean off my ink. Pick up some Granny Apple Green. How about there? Now that I know where those two sentiments are, it's easier for me to place the Daffodil Sentiment, because I can just split the difference between, you know, the top and the bottom and the left and right. And even if it's off kilter a little bit, it's not that big a deal. So there we go. Now we're all done with the stamping, and we can get on to the technique called the Scrappy Strip Technique. I'm going to close up my ink pads so that I don't put my elbow into them. And that is, or my fingers or my wrists. Just do as I say, not as I do, because I don't always close up my ink pads, and I sometimes get ink on me. Now I had some cardstock left over, some pieces of cardstock that were Real Red, Granny Apple Green, and Daffodil Delight, and all I did was cut them into strips. I had like a chunk left over, and I cut them into strips. Now with this technique, what you're going to do is just, doesn't really matter, pick whatever color you want to start with. Let's start with this green one. I'm going to use my new stamping seal. Oh, I haven't shown this to you guys yet. I only just got it last night when I got back home. Let me just show you what the difference is. This is the old adhesive we used to carry. It's called Snail, and it fit into your hand. This is the new one. It's a little larger. It has nice finger grip, and it comes with a top that you just take the top off. I've set it over there. And this has much more adhesive on the roll than this one did. So, and it flows so nicely. And the other thing is it doesn't make the clicking noise. So you're going to notice that right off the bat when you're trying to, you know, put adhesive on. Let me just make sure I get all the way down to the end on that one. Okay. So all I'm going to do is I put adhesive on this first strip, and I'm going to put it at an angle so that I can get about that, and just stick it down. I don't want to cover up any words, and I don't want to cover up my adorable zebra. Now from this point on with this technique, this Scrappy Strip Technique, all you're going to really need to do is put some adhesive on the rest of your card, layer over here, and lay the strips down in whatever order you want. It doesn't matter. Whoops, I just went over a little bit. I'll just get my eraser out. Oh, I didn't need to. So then, like I said, all you're going to do is put them down in whatever order you want. Just make sure a little bit is hanging off the top and the bottom. And then just press it down. How about a little red one here? And press it down. Next, I think maybe we'll do another yellow. press it down. Green, granny apple, and the size of the strips don't matter. You're going to be cutting off the excess, so it does not matter how thick they are or how long they go. As long as they hang off the page, that's all you really need to do. So we're going to keep it sticking these strips down until you cover all of this page. Got another green one. I love this granny apple green. It really is so bright and colorful. Really, I didn't know how much I loved it until I started working with it. Sometimes I look at a color and I can tell right off the bat it's going to be one of my favorites, but then on other times I'm like surprised with what I like. How about a yellow right at the end? And I'll just rip that one because I don't need the whole bit. Actually, I'm going to put a little adhesive on the back of this just in case. My hands got sticky there. There we go. Just flip that over. Adhesive side down. Okay. Now, what you're going to do is take your snips, and mine are right here. Now this first one was the one that you put adhesive on the strip. That's the only one that really should be sticky. Everything else should just fall off. I always flip my cards over when I'm cutting something because if I cut this way, I could cut the white. And this way I know exactly where the white is. So I can just keep trimming and make sure that it is lined up perfectly. There was adhesive on that. Ooh, yellow one. Ooh, get those. That just came off when I pulled too hard. I'm just gonna stick that right back on there. And that's the fun thing about making these cards and making these videos, actually. Sometimes things go exactly as planned, sometimes they don't. So once that is all done, you're gonna put some right here, but I'll tell you a trick because you don't want to put them on and have the lines going at a different angle than that right there. All I did was took a scrap of paper. I just had a scrap of paper. I don't know if this is gonna be wide enough. Oh, it needs a little bit more. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hold this there as a spacer, and then I'll put that right there. And now we know what angle we're gonna need. Let's start with a green piece. Now let's start with a red piece. We started with green pieces on the other side. Alrighty, a little adhesive on the back. Hold that in place. And then just slide that into place. So once that one is butted up against this white, you can take that out of the way. Now you know the angles are all going in the same direction. You can put some more adhesive on here. And again, fill in with whatever colors you want. We'll do a little granny apple green. How about a big fat yellow one? Would that work? No. How about a tiny red one first, and then a yellow one. There we go. Now again, we can't see where to cut this card, where to cut these strips off. So we are just gonna flip it over and trim this way because we can see that way. The red one has a little adhesive on it because that's what you started with. And you didn't want to put more adhesive than necessary on the Whisper White cardstock. Okay, so there we go. I see a little bit of a trim there. Let me get this off into my trash can. So there's the front of the card. That one was stuck there. And the inside of the card, I grabbed a piece of Granny Apple Green. For those of you that don't know, it's just a full sheet of cardstock that I've cut in half. So that means that this cardstock is going to be cut at 4 1/4 by 11. And then I scored it at 5 1/2. So this is the front of my card. Doesn't matter which side you use. Front of my card. I am going to use some of our dimensionals on the back just to pop it up a little bit, give it a little more interest. These are double-sided foam, can you see how thick they are? Foam dimensionals. And what you do is you pick them up like this, so it's sticky on that side, and you put it down. There's paper on that side. So you're not getting your fingers all over the sticky stuff and making it a little less sticky. Once you do that and you have them all stuck down, you're gonna start taking off the papers. And they just look like that. I put them in my trash can here. Okay, I think I got them all. Okay, this is let's make that the front of the card. And then all I'm gonna do is just line it up. Actually, drop it. Line it up like that. And then on the inside, I'm just gonna put some adhesive on here. Pick him up and line him up. I generally make sure that these spaces, the top, the side, and the bottom are even. And that's how I line up my cards. And there you go. The card is all finished. I hope you liked this card and this how-to video. And if you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell so you'll know when I upload a video or when I go live. You can give a thumbs up, you can like it, comment, share, tag your friends in these videos so they get to see them too. These are so much fun and I have so much fun making them with you. I hope you liked the technique we did today. It was called the Scrappy Strip Technique. And I hope you try this at home. And if you do, make sure you share a photo with me because I would love to see it. If you like the video, subscribe to my channel so I can do a lot more card tutorials for you and how-to videos for you. And I do everything from clean and simple cards to fun folds to wow projects and everything in between. And if there's something specific you want to see, don't forget to leave it in a comment below, letting me know, and I'll work that into my rotation of videos. Now I just want to end this by saying, what did this make you think of? If it made you think of a pack of fruit stripe gum, then yay, because that's exactly what I saw when I first saw this adorable zebra and all of the fun colors and the way he was jumping on the inside. Now, it's not exactly the zebra, but it is a representation and it was just so fun. It brought me right back to my childhood, if that gives it away for you. So thanks for joining me today. Don't forget to hit subscribe and I will talk to you guys next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.